Greetings, superior beings. Greetings, supreme being. We are all the human race. Our common enemy is death. Our common enemy is death. Welcome on Try Something.Vegetarian. I'm Ulrich B.C. Hoffman. This is the broadcast. Is Donald Trump Asmodeus Hebrew? Asmedai backwards. Truth equals knowledge equals power. So what have I planned for you all in this broadcast? Turn off the live stream, check. I'm live. Here we see the Wikipedia article on Asmodeus. Some claim Amadeus also stands for the same demon. So let me start by making clear that in reality demons do not exist, angels do not exist, and there is no God. God does not exist. Religion is an abomination. All the wars and legal wars fought in the name of religion. And then there are the 50 million innocent people that were telling the truth about God not existing, being tortured to death in their Inquisition. And the Jewish people and Jesuits were expelled from so many nations. And of course, I've covered sources that claim that Trump is also Jewish. He's a crypto Jew like Macron, Putin, Angela Merkel, and Bill Gates. They're all crypto Jews, according to several sources online. So he can be Asmodeus, that's clear, but it does sound like Asmodeus backwards when we play Donald Trump backwards. Let's listen to this. This is taken from Insane Anti-Trump Protester Goes Nuts at Pro-Trump Rally. So that's at 1 minute 14. Perhaps it's best to start with the intro. I'll just make a nice intro for you all. It's easy now.
I'm going to create a third world war to build a temple in Jerusalem for my body and to reduce the global population to 500 million. Everyone must die for my global government. I will be the last president. Take back the oil. Once you go over and take back that oil, they have nothing.
But how do you take it back?
Right, you have to go in. You have to go in.
With ground troops.
Well, you bomb the hell out of them, and then you encircle it, and then you go in, and you let Mobil go in, and you let our great oil companies go in. Once you take that oil, they have nothing left.
So at 1 minute 14 they say and of course this is not a real Trump sample.
I'm going to create a third world war
that's made with jungle.horse. Basically it's a website, Jungle Horse. And there was a better speech engine on Android, but I think that doesn't work anymore. So from 1 minute 14, they'll be saying Donald Trump 4 or 5 times, and then I will put it in backwards mode by clicking my right mouse button. Then Virtual DJ, this lovely freeware program, will play the song or this video, in this case, backwards.
USA!
Well, I think it sounds a bit like it anyway. So then we can read this whole, we have to read this whole Wikipedia, CA Vatican edited encyclopedia article about Asmodeus. Asmodeus, Asmodeus, Asmodeus.
Asmodeus, /Asmodus Greek, Asmodeios, or Asmedai, /Asmodai Hebrew, Asmedai, also Ashimedeva, see below for other variations, is a prince of demons, 1, or in Judeo-Islamic lore the king of the earthly spirits, Shaitan/Jinn, 2-3, mostly known from the Deuterocanonical Book of Tobit, in which he is.
I want to add to this that it's possible that Trump is the opposite then, because it's backwards, in theory. Perhaps he's more like an angel.
The primary antagonist. 4, in the Binsfeld classification of demons.
So many people filed rape charges against Trump in court also. More about it online. Also his connections with Jeffrey Epstein, who he called a terrific guy, etc. Covered by the mainstream media. I don't know if what the MSM writes is true, of course. But that makes us think that perhaps he's more a la Asmodai than, more like Asmodai than some other angel.
Asmodeus represents lust. The demon is also mentioned in some Talmudic legends. For instance, in the story of the construction of the Temple of Solomon, he was supposed by some Renaissance Christians to be the king of the 9 hells. Asmodeus also is referred to as one of the 7 princes of hell. In Binsfeld's classification of demons, each one of these princes represents one of the 7 deadly sins: lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. It is said in Asmodeus, or the devil on 2 sticks, that people who fall to Asmodeus' ways will be sentenced to an eternity in the 2nd level of hell. 5.
So the fact that there is no God, proven by the fact that the Bible is a collection of plagiarized polytheistic myths rolled into monotheism, the fact that there is no God proves that there will never be a real Messiah, and there is no hereafter, that lies just to make you all give your lives in their legal wars and blow yourselves up to get with these virgins in paradise, etc. So they can take all your houses in gold and reduce the global population to a more controllable, enslavable number, to create their global government. That's their goal, and religion is just a psychological warfare tool the Satanists that may have made all religions are using, because it's built on the big fat lie that there is hereafter. Religion is an abomination. More so because it claims that humans are mere mortals and that there's something higher than the humans, while in fact the humans are the superior beings. That's why I always start my broadcasts with greetings, superior beings, because you are superior beings. And survival is all, your life is the most important thing. Prevent more false flag attacks and be ready with your cameras to film them also. But of course I'm going to read that whole article. The etymology. Wiki/Asmodeus.
Etymology: the name Asmedai is believed to derive from Avestan language Asmodiva, where Esma means wrath, and Diva signifies demon, while the diva Esma is thus Zoroastrianism's demon of wrath and is also well attested as such. The compound Asmodiva is not attested in scripture. It is nonetheless likely that such a form did exist, and that the Book of Tobit's Asmodaios, and the Talmud's Asmedai, reflect it. 6. In the Zoroastrian and Middle Persian demonology, there did exist the conjuncted form Dev, where the word dev was the same of diva. 7. The spellings Asmedai, 8, 9, Asmod, also Asmod, 10, 11, Asmodeus, 12, 13, and Asmedai 14, 15, have also been used. The name is alternatively spelled in the bastardized forms, based on the basic consonants smti, Hashmedai, Hasmde, also Hashmedai, Hasmedai, Kashmedai, Kuzmedai, 16, 17, 18, 19, Hamadai, Hamadai, also Kamadai, 2021, Shamden, Samden, 22, and Shidanai, Sidonai. 21. Some traditions have subsequently identified Shamden as the father of Asmodeus. 22. The Jewish Encyclopedia of 1906 rejects the otherwise accepted etymological relation between the Persian Ashmedeva and Judaism's Ashmedai, claiming that the particle deva could not have become di and that Ashmedeva as such, a compound name, never appears in Persian sacred texts. Still, the encyclopedia proposes that the Asmodeus from the Apocrypha and the Testament of Solomon are not only related somewhat to Eshma but have similar behavior, appearance and roles. 23. To conclude, in another article under the entry Eshma, in the paragraph Influence of Persian Beliefs on Judaism, 24, that Persian Zoroastrian beliefs could have heavily influenced Judaism's theology on the long term, bearing in mind that in some texts there are crucial conceptual differences while in others there seems to be a great deal of similarity, proposing a pattern of influence over folk beliefs that would extend further to the mythology itself in general. In the text in the Bible the full name Ashmedai is not found, but in 2 Kings 17:30, a certain Hashem appears as the false god for whom the Syrian Hamathites made an idol. Not only does this name better resemble that of the Persian diva Eshma, but the name, also greatly resembles the name Ashmedai, in Hebrew. In the Book of Tobit, the Asmodeus of the Book of Tobit is hostile to Sarah, Raguel's daughter, Tobit 6:13. And slays 7 successive husbands on their wedding nights, impeding the sexual consummation of the marriages. He is described as the worst of demons. When the young Tobias is about to marry her, Asmodeus proposes the same fate for him, but Tobias is enabled, through the counsels of his attendant angel Raphael, to render him innocuous. By placing a fish's heart and liver on red-hot cinders, Tobias produces a smoky vapor that causes the demon to flee to Egypt, where Raphael binds him. Tobit 8:2-3. According to some translations Asmodeus is strangled. Perhaps Asmodeus punishes the suitors for their carnal desire, since Tobias prays to be free from such desire and is kept safe. Asmodeus is also described as an evil spirit in general, or O tilde, and, Tobit 3-8, Tobit 3:17, Tobit 6:13, Tobit 8-3. In the Talmud the figure of Ashmedai in the Talmud is less malign in character than the Asmodeus of Tobit. In the former, he appears repeatedly in the light of a good-natured and humorous fellow. But besides that, there is one feature in which he parallels Asmodeus, inasmuch as his desires turn upon Solomon's wives and Bathsheba. Another Talmudic legend has King Solomon tricking Asmedai into collaborating in the construction of the Temple of Jerusalem. 3. C. The story of King Solomon and Ashmedai. Another legend depicts Asmedai throwing King Solomon over 400 leagues away from the capital by putting one wing on the ground and the other stretched skyward. He then changed places for some years with King Solomon. When King Solomon returned, Asmedai fled from his wrath. 25. Similar legends can be found in Islamic folklore. Their Asmodeus is called Sakhr, Arabic, the rock or the stony one, because in Islamic lore, Solomon banished him into a rock, after he takes his kingdom back from him. There he counts as the king of the jinn. 26. Another passage describes him as marrying Lilith, who became his queen. 27. In the Testament of Solomon, a 1 Street 3 RD century text, the king invokes Asmodeus to aid in the construction of the temple. The demon appears and predicts Solomon's kingdom will one day be divided. Testament of Solomon, verse 21 to 25. 28. When Solomon interrogates Asmodeus further, the king learns that Asmodeus is thwarted by the angel Raphael, as well as by sheet fish found in the rivers of Assyria. He also admits to hating water and birds because both remind him of God. In the Malleus Maleficarum, 1486, Asmodeus was considered the demon of lust. 29. Sebastian Michaelis said that his adversary is Street, John. Some demonologists of the 16th century assigned a month to a demon and considered November to be the month in which Asmodai's power was strongest. Other demonologists asserted that his zodiacal sign was Aquarius, but only between the dates of January 30th and February 8th. He has 72 legions of demons under his command.
So could the dreaded World War III Armageddon commence on Tisha B'Av, August 10th this year, 2019? We can read in the quote purification papers, a Google book, on page 11, I covered it in my previous broadcast. The shocking result caused most of us to forget we had even read the Bible code. World War III seemed irrevocably fated to begin in Jerusalem at the end of July, the holy fast of Tisha B'Av. The only variable in the equation was the exact year for Armageddon. So, according to them, it begins on Tisha B'Av. They only didn't know what year. Could that year be 2019? Then we still have about a month to prepare. Also for Putin's nuclear torpedoes and to build a little Tesla plasma shield to survive their planned scalar world war, or what some call Judgment Day. And if that machine is controlled by evil people that also spread depleted uranium and torture people to silence them about certain matters, and are involved in population reduction to 500 million, their stated goal, clear from the book quotes. I covered 50 population reduction book quotes in my video on my other channel, the Future channel or whatever on YouTube. 50 shocking depopulation quotes or something like that. Then we'd better prepare and attempt to prevent their nefarious plan. Obstruct them in every way possible and be a stick in the spokes of the wheel of Armageddon to crash it before it begins.
He is one of the kings of hell under Lucifer the Emperor. He incites gambling, and is the overseer of all the gambling houses in the court of hell. Some Catholic theologians compared him with a bad, yet other authors considered Asmodeus a prince of revenge. In the Dictionary Infernal by Colin de Plancy, Asmodeus is depicted with the breast of a man, a cock leg, serpent tail, 3 heads, one of a man spitting fire, one of a sheep, and one of a bull, riding a lion with dragon wings and neck, all of these animals being associated with either lascivity, lust or revenge. Citation needed, the Archbishop of Paris approved his portrait. 30. In the Lesser Key of Solomon, Asmedai appears as the King Asmodai in the Ars Goetia, where he is said to have a seal in gold and is listed as number 32 according to respective rank. 31. He is strong, powerful and appears with 3 heads, The first is like a bull, the second like a man, and the third like a ram, the tail of a serpent, and from his mouth issue flames of fire. 32. Also, he sits upon an infernal dragon, holds a lance with a banner and, amongst the legions of Amammon, Asmedai governs 72 legions of inferior spirits. 31.
Let's start streaming. That missing a little complicated at first, but we'll help you through the key steps. My new poem, mental, moral, polio. You can argue that MSM is a form of mind control, or the psychological warfare, like religion, affluent, spellsfun, interfere survival. Watch top 10 depopulation methods and counter measures. The future channel on YouTube help to prevent the third Jesuit World War and create universal peace. I'm Donald Trump. I help Mushkwana. I'm Donald Trump. Mushkwana. Donald Trump. Mushkwana.
In the Magus, Asmodeus is referred to in Book 2, Chapter 8 of the Magus, 1801, by Francis Barrett. 33. Later depictions in Christian thought. Asmodeus was named as an angel of the Order of Thrones by Gregory the Great. 34. Asmodeus.
Polio. You can argue missing that missing a little complicated. Let's start streaming. That missing a little complicated at first, but we'll help you through the key steps. My new poem, mental, moral, polio. You can argue that MSM is a form of mind control, or the psychological warfare, like religion, affluent, spellsfun, interfere survival. Watch top 10 depopulation methods and counter measures. The future channel on YouTube help to prevent the third Jesuit World War and create universal peace. Without a Tesla plans, machine would survive. Exit, Brexit, or Nexit. Yes, because NASA's own videos of sound tool have improved beyond any reasonable doubt. They faked it. Silence of the Lambs, the Lunar Explorer, module silence. MI5, MI666, don't say the team, like, and also mean nuclear weapons, going off brain control, synthetic telepathy, illumination, places based in Dutch, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. I do not believe in electronic voting, nor do I accept people chosen in electronic voting as our leaders, presidents, nor as prime ministers. Simpsons predictions are not nuclear power plant accident. Hollywood proven them quite easy and they've been letting high infidelity. Right or wrong, I'm still the captain. DC, I also do Jonestown injection locks behind the left shoulder blade and the kit. They were injected with cyanide, but was not correlated at all. Consciousness. The 16th is internal knowledge. From conscious plusness, the man state off being there is from 1746. Creating universal pieces of that. Not choosing sex. No tree for nukes. No blood for oil. Most control factors that control aging. Radiological and filter stop. Am I the pedophile night of older? What do you all think? NASA uses VR lenses and real-time CGI computer graphics imaging to give the illusion they're an object. It's floating in their spaceship and weightlessness. Total cost of the NASA skims, 183 billion times I make misspelled backwards. All doomsday devices must be destroyed. You can verify only to your two accounts per year. Global warming is caused by space travel and ionospheric heaters. If there is any, also by cancer chemtrails trapping the heat that cancer causing crash you in a toilet or on a car. WTF, not a spread of blood or the hood, laughing incredible.
So yeah, global warming is mainly caused, man-made global warming, if there is any, is mainly caused by the ionospheric heaters punching holes in the Earth's ionosphere. Terawatts also used to remotely torture people and modify the jet stream to create these earthquakes for the next tsunami, to flood Iran when these sanctions were announced again. It's no coincidence, it's geoengineering. And of course you also have cancer chemtrails trapping the heat between the cloud-seeded clouds and the Earth for their ecotax money scam to warm up our planet. And they make cold and hot periods with their atmospheric heaters, also to reduce the global population, to create a crisis big enough to impose their satanic Luciferian totalitarian global government, Jesuits and Masons, in theory. And according to Citizens Action Network, all intelligence agencies, which are the people in control of people's brainwaves with synthetic telepathy as described in the Malig patent, the apparatus to remotely monitor and alter brainwaves, all these intelligence agencies are Masonic and controlled by the Jesuits, according to Citizens.Action.Network on Facebook, which is another website to check out if you haven't done so already. They always have interesting stuff. So it's about the people. Good politicians should do everything for the people, protect and serve, and get control and invest in controlling all factors that control aging, instead of more illegal wars. And a world war would be traveling in the opposite direction, towards self-annihilation and negative dystopia, with a fake messiah, cancer scale orb, Armageddon, Moshiach. Is not in anyone's benefit, and millions of Jewish people would die as well, like the Jewish people they demolished in the WTC. And there were explosives in that building that's proven beyond any reasonable doubt. You know it, I know it, it's a conspiracy fact. And it's easy to prove, and it has been proven beyond any reasonable doubt, also by Professor Jones and others. No, Alex Jones controlled the position. Well, I don't know if it should be called a rant. I think it's on topic and it's vital information for you all. And I usually say there's only one truth, the truth that defines reality. So did they wipe Palestine off the map? Or can we find that blade somewhere?
Universal peace. Now, this is Donald Trump prevent a two-state solution. World by any means necessary. Included in the two-state solution agreement that the allies of Israel and Palestine may not intervene if they go to war with each other to prevent a two-state solution. World. Universal peace. Now, peace to you, well, Rick. Thank you for your idea for universal peace. Universal peace. Now.
Thank you, darling.
Grab him by the pussy.
So according to many people, some of whom I chatted with, are convinced that Epstein is a Mossad agent. And I'm looking for some text. Let's see if I can find it. Also, Wiki writes 2008, Epstein was convicted of soliciting an underage girl, for prostitution, for which he served 13 months in custody with work release, which meant he was allowed to spend 16 hours a day outside of prison. Shouldn't he get life in prison? I don't know anything about this case. So, how much time did he spend in jail effectively, really? I wonder. But it would be easy to calculate if he spent 16 hours a day outside of prison and he was locked up for 13 months. That means 6 hours a day 6 hours of every 24 hours, so 1/4 of 13 months basically.
Was cited by the nuns of Laudun in the Laudun Possessions of 1634. 35. Asmodeus' reputation as the personification of lust continued into later writings, as he was known as the Prince of Lechery in the 16th century romance Friar Rush. 36. The French Benedictine Augustin Comet equated his name with fine dress. 36. The 16th century Dutch demonologist Johann Weyer described him as the banker.
Some people have the death penalty on adultery, so that's why I ask.
At the baccarat table in hell, and overseer of earthly gambling houses. 37. In 1641, the Spanish playwright and novelist Luis Vélez de Guevara published the satirical novel El Diablo Cojuelo, where Asmodeus is represented as a mischievous demon endowed with.
So I consider disproportionate punishment an injustice. They, however, obviously do not.
The playful and satirical genius. The plot presents a rascal student that hides in an astrologer's mansard. He frees a devil from a bottle. As an acknowledgement, the devil shows him the apartments of Madrid.
Or rather, they don't consider stoning people that committed adultery to death a disproportionate punishment. It's part of daily life in some countries, where we also see mutilation of girls and boys, which they call circumcision, and a lot of other things going on, funding of terrorists by the CIA, people spreading depleted uranium, not just Americans. Netanyahu basically claimed that Iraq had chemical weapons of mass destruction, and I don't know, but basically they may all be controlled by the same Jesuits and Masons, and we see that the Pope also spoke with Rouhani, and Zarif with Skull and Bones Bonesman John Kerry. There. Exposed.
And the tricks, miseries and mischiefs of their inhabitants. 38-39. The French novelist Alain René Lesage adapted the Spanish source in his 1707 novel Le Diable Boiteux. 36, where he likened him to Cupid. In the book, he is rescued from an enchanted glass bottle by a Spanish student Don Cleofas Leandro Zambello. Grateful, he joins with a young man on a series of adventures before being recaptured. Asmodeus is portrayed in a sympathetic light as good-natured, and a canny satirist and critic of human society. 36. In another episode, Asmodeus takes Don Cleofas for a night flight, and removes the roofs from the houses of a village to show him the secrets of what passes in private lives. Following Lesage's work, he was depicted in a number of novels and periodicals, mainly in France but also London and New York. 40. Asmodeus was widely depicted as having a handsome visage, good manners and an engaging nature. However, he was portrayed as walking with a limp, and one leg was either clawed or that of a rooster. He walks aided by two walking sticks in Lesage's work, and this gave rise to the English title The Devil on Two Sticks. 30, also later translated The Limping Devil and The Lame Devil. Lesage attributes his lameness to falling from the sky after fighting with another devil. 41. On February 18, 1865, author Evert A. Duyck sent President Abraham Lincoln a letter, apparently mailed from Quincy. Duyck signed the letter Asmodeus, with his initials below his pseudonym. His letter enclosed a newspaper clipping about an inappropriate joke allegedly told by Lincoln at the Hampton Roads Peace Conference. The purpose of Duyck's letter was to advise Lincoln of an important omission about the history of the conference. He advised that the newspaper clipping be added to the archives of the nation. 42. In the Kabbalah, according to the Kabbalah and the school of Shlomo ibn Adret, Asmodeus is a Cambion born as the result of a union between a Grat Bat Malat, a succubus, and King David. 43. In Islamic culture, the story of Asmodeus and Solomon has a reappearance in Islamic lore. Asmodeus is commonly named Sakhr, rock, probably a reference to his fate and common Islam-related belief. There, after Solomon defeated him, Asmodeus was imprisoned inside a box of rock, chained with iron, and thrown it into the sea. 44. In his work Annals of al-Tabari, the famous Persian Quranic skate, 224-310 839-923 AD, Tabari.
So unlike Houdini, Trump escaped. No, it's a wrong joke. It's wrong. I mean, dehumanization, that's the term. Dehumanization is part of the 10 phases of genocide, so we should not engage in that and lead by example. So there's a recording of Houdini's voice, but not of Tesla's voice. The one online is not really Tesla, I think. Though there are records, LPs of his voice recording, and perhaps he's saying things on that the FBI wants to keep secret. And Trump's father was engaged, or an uncle or something, with the Tesla documents. And there's a book by Ingersoll Lockwood, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, and it was written in 1893, long before Baron Trump was born, basically. And there's also a book, 1900, or The Last President, by Ingersoll Lockwood. So is the time-traveling neural network trying to warn us? And is that red cow prediction that announces Armageddon there to warn us and to prevent that scenario from unfolding? Or is it something they have concocted and are going to perpetrate against humanity? The biggest crime ever perpetrated against humanity.
Referred to Asmodeus in Surah 38 hours 34 minutes. Accordingly, the puppet is actually Asmodeus, who took on the shape of Solomon for 40 days, before Solomon defeated him. 45. Asmodeus is consulted by a young Jewish boy, who tried to find the Islamic prophet Muhammad, in the nights. During their conversation, he asked about hell. Thereupon Asmodeus describes the different layers of hell. 46. In popular media, Asmodeus' portrayal in Dungeons & Dragons. Asmodeus is a recurring antagonist in the 13th season of the CW series Supernatural, portrayed primarily.
Could the word hell have been concocted by the neural network, Jehovah, to cover up people screaming for help? Kind of sounds the same. Hell, help.
By Jeffrey Vincent Parise, created by Lucifer himself. Asmodeus was originally a prince of hell alongside siblings Azazel, Dagon, and Ramiel, upon the death of Crowley.
And then you have SOS, Save Our Souls. Well, perhaps they would think Satan, oh Satan, or whatever. Combined with habeas corpus and posse comitatus, martial law, and the BFSA, Blue Force Situational Awareness, people being home quarantined, and civilians designated as enemy combatants under the BFSA and shot at by the Talon drones and by the Talon robots and the drones. Talon robots is the Project Swords, if they don't carry that transponder that they need to have. Otherwise, when they break their home quarantine, they're shot at whether they need food and water or not. So that's their technique to reduce the global population and erase all evidence. And of course, after that, introduce a global currency. After that, everything's gone except their gold bars, perhaps. So most of our money is fictional. Though they call it fiat currency, it's not real. If everybody would run to the bank now and take all their money out, they wouldn't have it in reality. If everybody would do it together.
Asmodeus succeeds him as the king of hell despite being Lucifer's weakest creation. Asmodeus is killed in the episode Bring Him Back Alive by the Archangel Gabriel, whose grace Asmodeus had been feeding on to make himself stronger. 47. The character Asmedai in A.L. Mingle's supernatural series The Tales of Tartarus, 2013 to 2016, is based on the demon Asmodeus. The demon haunts the main protagonist, Antoine, through the series of novels. Asmodeus appears in the television series The Librarians, Season 4 Episode 10, as a blue-skinned, growling demon in knight's armor and sword. Asmodeus also features heavily in the lore of the game Dungeons & Dragons as the ruler of the Nine Hells, formerly the greatest of the angels since the earliest editions, though his name was edited out in same releases of the second edition alongside all references to demons and devils. He resides in the lowest layer of hell, Nessus, and all the other layers archdevils owe fealty to him, even though they would like nothing more than to depose him and take his place. Asmodeus cleverly plays them against each other, and he has plans within plans millennia in the making. In certain editions, he is mentioned to have been an angel of law who was tasked by the gods to punish sinful mortals, and he took it upon himself to gain power to fight the demonic hordes of the abyss by creating hell and tempting mortals to sin so he has souls to power his armies. While good gods don't like Asmodeus, the lawful deities accept him as a necessary evil who plays a role in creation's great cycle. Asmodeus is always depicted wearing his ruby rod, a powerful artifact of rulership. His secret goal is to either defeat or subjugate the demons of the abyss and then to conquer the upper planes. Asmodeus is also present in the Pathfinder role-playing game in a similar role to his D&D 1. The main difference is that his church is widespread on Golarion, and this has elevated him to actual godhood. Asmodeus appears as Magnus Bane's father and Prince of Hell, otherwise known as Adam, on the third season of Freeform's Shadowhunters television series based on Cassandra Clare's popular book series The Mortal Instruments. He is portrayed by Jack J. Yang. Asmodeus appears in the book Asmodeus, a forkful of tales from Devil's Peak by Alex D'Angelo, author, Tony Grogan, illustrator, Tafelberg Publishers Limited, 1997. One story, Asmodeus and the Bottler of Gems, is included in the anthology Favorite African Folktales edited by Nelson Mandela, published by Norton and available as an audiobook. See also Occult Portal, Archman Belial, Devil, Samael, Satan, Serpents in the Bible, Sin references and sources references. Asmodeus in the New Encyclopedia Britannica, Chicago, Encyclopedia Britannica Incorporated, 15th ed., 1992, Volume 1, p. 635. Robert Lebeling I.B. Doris 2010 ISBN 978-0857-73063-3. Raphael Patai, Encyclopedia of Jewish Folklore and Traditions, Routledge 2015 ISBN 978.
So that was the wiki article. I'm looking for a website with Obama use hand signal. They removed that one. I still have the pictures, don't worry, so I can show it anyway. And I even saved some of these pages to my hard disk. And if you have the URL, you can always find them with catchedpages.com. Well, not always, but usually they're in the Internet Archive. Wow. The Obama's Youth Brigade gesture and Hitler doing the same gesture, basically. Hitler Youth Brigade and Obama's Youth Brigade gesture. You see Jay-Z doing it. Also the sign of progress, it's called under Obama, it was called. And they write, the shadow government is using the same playbook today in the US as that they used in Nazi Germany World War II. If we are too naive to see it, maybe we get what we deserve. With this logo, we also see this pyramid in Israel. In the Supreme Court. That's that picture that's also in the picture show, of course. You all have seen it already in my previous shows, but some people are watching this for the first time, so then I have to repeat certain things that I think are important. It's clear this is a different broadcast about a different subject, but it's all about that same subject. They're obsessed with population reduction, accumulating wealth and power. The Luciferian UN also plays a role in that, of course. Jesuits and Masons, and all Freemasons are Luciferians. Easy to verify. And if a nano DARPA fly in my room, I could kill it. But that's inhumane, it's still a real fly modeled after the lowly blowfly. So I usually grab a box and then I catch it and put it outside. Oh yeah, you can go in this one. This is fine, yes. Crawl inside, there's yogurt in it. But now the spoon is still in that pot basically that it's in. So I cannot put something on top. Oh, there it flew away already. But now I can take the spoon out. Well, I'm gonna use another plastic cup for it. Let's see if I can find it. Well, while I'm doing that, so basically it was the Obama Youth Brigade, some call it the Obama Jugend. And there's also a picture of Tom Cruise and many other superstars making that same, what they call hand signal. Including that El Diablo, the satanic hand signal. El Cornuto, it's also called horn sign, basically. And you could make that with two hands and then use that instead of the Merkel hand signal to feel your own blood. Basically, it's a bridge with 3 instead of 2 fingers. So basically, I've already taught you all this one. This is the normal bridge. It's perfect. And well, this way is with 3 fingers, and then you can sit like this. And Merkel always make this. There are so many pictures of her making that hand signal. The Merkel hand signal. So yeah, are they for diversity? Are they gonna open Israel's borders now? So unlimited immigration. But here she's wearing the same thing as in this picture. So here she seems to wear a necklace, and here there's no necklace on this one, it seems. but perhaps it's there anyway. I don't know. I believe it. I think she made these hand signals. But you could argue it's not a hand signal, it's just a way people hold their hands when they don't know where to put their hands. Basically, they can let them hang, but somehow it doesn't feel right, so then this movement is made, this hand signal is okay. Oh, Lefay is also making it. Wow, this is an interesting picture. I have to save this. And obviously these people are homophobic, or they mix in, here they write gay Z on the picture, and I doubt that if he's married, then, but okay, it's an argumentum ad hominem, an argument against the person, instead of contributing to the conversation or the debate about more important subjects. So it's also a red herring, basically. It's guiding people away from the subject to some other subject to make them forget about the subject of the debate. Red herring. But you can Google it, there may be better definitions online. Subliminal synchrosphere. Blogspot.com. I'm just putting this synchrosphere blogspot.com, these names on it, so that if we're not nuked, then I know the original source that it came from. And then I can visit that page with catch pages if it's ever removed. But you saw that I didn't find all these pictures until I did what? Until I added Hitler to it. Before that, I didn't find all these pictures of the Obama youth, the brown shirts, etc. The FEMA camps, tralala. Yes, they have hollow point bullets. You have to download my most recent broadcasts. These illustrations are awesome. And some, I don't know if I may show them in my broadcast. If they banned Alex Jones, then perhaps it's best to stay away from these illustrations during live broadcasts, live streams. Don't do it. I talked about fasting, and I think that it's not good for your body. It's the theory. Safety first. So it's not innocent till proven guilty when it comes to our body. It's guilty till proven innocent. We can just go sticking everything into our body and then see if it kills us. It's not the idea. So if it doesn't kill you, it can make you sick and eventually die anyway. can make you weaker, doesn't always make you stronger. Keep that in mind. So many sayings are total BS, they're total nonsense if you think about it. It's brainwashing. Okay, my homeless life, day 13. Well, nothing about Iran, I guess. Oh yeah, US wants military coalition to patrol waters of Iran, Yemen. Al Jazeera.com 4 hours ago. US plans coalition of allies to patrol waters of Iran and Yemen. The Guardian 3 hours ago. So that can be because they've planned another false flag attack. They first have to have ships there and stuff that can be attacked, and then they can fire another drone missile at it and claim Iran did it. Like they did with the Kakuku Courageous and the Front Altair or whatever. These two cancer oil tankers with holes above the waterline in them, not spilling any cancer oil, so that's positive about it. And punishment must be proportionate to the crime to do justice, but it's not always that. So I'm horrified. I hope they can prevent this world war and create universal peace. That I'm on time with changing this timeline into what it ought to be, with my broadcast and with your help. We are not powerless, we are energy. So we don't need a global Armageddon. We don't even need a fake messiah. We need control of all factors that control aging. And perhaps they're almost there when... So what would that look like if the messiah would be resurrected? Would he look as old as when he died, or as a young man, basically? The time-traveling neural network could beam him from that time, but then he would have gone missing after a certain point. Or is he still alive, and did they fake his death like Michael Jackson's death? Some people think that they are still alive, including Tupac and others. And that Michael Jackson appeared on Larry King Live as Dave with a mask on. He was also doing that in his videos. So we read this whole article now. We can always rewind and stuff. Another idea is perhaps everyone could be resurrected one day, colonize the universe, and then Hitler and Senator LaVey go into the Phantom Zone, and we go into paradise, etc. Or ninth layer of hell, or the bottomless pit, or something like that. And it's interesting that Islam and Judaism both use the same word to describe hell, Gehinnom. Check power. Joint comprehensive plan of action. Yes! I pronounced it correctly. The fly is buzzing around me, and I'm gonna get a little plastic cup, and I'm gonna show it if I can successfully capture it to put it outside. was an anti-vegetarian version guys. Means I will not subscribe on YouTube. Today. Hopefully. Where's the plastic cup? I put them somewhere so that I can easily grab it and okay, this is a big one. Pinda's peanuts used to be in this huge plastic thing. Drums of war, or the drums of universal peace. This is what technocracy looks like. Because synthetic telepathy reality. Where is that fly? Aha. People don't realize the importance. Right to your left. I'm moving this giraffe. You're on my giraffe. You must leave the giraffe now, or else. Yes, good fly. And now I'll be able to show you all the miracle. Real miracles do not exist, but this one is real. Can you see it? I don't see it on the camera either. There. Now it's visible clearly. Could this be the Nano DARPA fly? Modeled after the Lolly Blow fly, the Nano fly. And how many people know about its existence, überhaupt? I think you only have to think. It's impossible not to think. My walls are blue, what can I do? Watch out that I don't get naked on YouTube. Okay. Well, I could paint them red or any other color, but blue is the color of organs, so I kind of like it, so I thought, let's leave it this way, you know. Well, mosquitoes. That's worse than the fly that I'm going to put outside now in the rain. Mosquito is not allowed in my room. You have to fly outside now or I will kill you. I will obliterate you, little mosquito. Putin is not your ally. You think we can just fly in here and suck our blood? With these little 6 little saws that you have in your, whatever they call it. Puncture our skin, suck our blood and then poop when you go away. It's on our skin and that's not permissible. Permitted. Okay. Unpleasant thought. I don't like that thought. Rouhani could wear Santos de Corché. Zarif could wear Dunhill Edition. What would the other dude wear? Yeah, but the toilet would Trump use? Probably it's online. I could check it out. Donations are very welcome via universalpeace.gymno.com. I'd love to get $1 million. Perhaps I can save some rainforest and stuff like that. Buy a little yellow submarine, survive World War III. So Putin's doomsday torpedoes, his nuclear torpedoes, are real. And they're huge. There's a picture of it in this other picture show. But the effect is perhaps better to think about. And that's not shown in this one. But this shows the nuclear torpedoes size compared to man, basically, average human length. Prevent mutually assured destruction, prevent MAD, prevent the end. To end all wars, to quote the vegetarian Nikola Tesla. This is a fabricated image, I didn't create this myself, it's very nice. It's a combination of the movie and they put Tesla's face on that basically. Time travel machine. Because that is what he may have invented in reality. Time travel is possible. So focusing on strategies to create universal peace and maintain the peace and protect and serve the taxpayers that have paid tax money to be protected and served, not to be annihilated. Here you see, according to this, the Russians have more nukes than the Americans do. Oh yeah, then I can read some of my latest writings, of course. Purification papers. Goede olam haba. The wailing walnut, stracciatella.
Kuda Alam Haba, Never Again World War. In the Purification Papers, a Google book, we read on page 11, the shocking result caused most of us to forget we had even read the Bible code. World War III seemed irrevocably fated to begin in Jerusalem at the end of July, the holy fast of Tisha B'Av. The only variable in the equation was the exact year for Armageddon. The Bible Code is a best-selling book by Michael Drosnin, first published in 1997. A sequel, The Bible Code 2, was published in 2002 and also reached bestseller status. Drosnin describes an alleged Bible code, in which messages are encoded in the Hebrew Bible. The messages are purported to be hidden in the Torah, and can be deciphered by placing the letters of various Torah passages at equal intervals in a text that has been formatted to fit inside a graph. Drosnin suggests that the code was written by extraterrestrial life, which he claims also brought the DNA of the human genetic code to Earth. Drosnin elaborates on this theory in the Bible Code 2, suggesting that the alien who brought the code left the key to the code in a steel obelisk. Drosnin attempted to find this obelisk, which he believes is buried near the Dead Sea. Drosnin's book is based on the technique described in the paper Equidistant Letter Sequences in the Book of Genesis by Professor Eli Rips of the Hebrew University in Israel with Doron Widstam and Yov Rosenberg. The Bible Code makes numerous predictions and post-diction, such as the false prediction of the apocalypse in 2006, and a claim of proof that Lee Harvey Oswald was destined to assassinate John F. Kennedy. Wiki/the_Bible_code_book. Who controls Jerusalem at the end of days shall rule the world. Quote from Megiddo, The Omega Code 2, a 2001 religious science fiction adventure film. Colonel Howard receives word that Breckinridge is sending U.S. troops to Israel to join Stone's military coalition, which are on the plains of Megiddo planning a strike on Jerusalem. Wiki/Megiddo:_the_Omega_code_2. So the element of Harmageddo, Armageddon, is clearly depicted in this movie. On topic, disproportionate punishment is injustice, educational system, judicial system, adjudicated. Fruit, tea, juice, juicy fruit, cake, and you are on your way to become an anorexic patient. Some people actually died. Juicing did it supposedly. Juicing bad. Cancer, cell phone radiation good. Racism, homophobia and anti-Semitism bad. Population reduction good. Adjudicate. Make a formal judgment on a disputed matter. Everything is possible. Nothing is certain. Reality equals monopoly. Yo. Immigration and customs enforcement equals ICE. How suggestive. ICE is lives. ICE is gone. If they're warm it can't last. Ice cream. Cream with ice in it. Rand Paul's audit the Fed bill may have friend in Trump. YouTube Trump attacks Fed independence. YouTube Donald Trump supports Rand Paul's audit the Fed bill. YouTube Trump's haters claim his Fed criticism is dangerous. They're wrong. Mises.org. There is one thing that can be said: audit the Fed. A little mosquito bird. GMO. Cloud seeding. Geoengineering. The secret death toll of America's drones. President Trump is making it harder to know how many civilians the government kills by remote control. New York Times, March 30, 2019.
I'm wondering why my keyboard isn't working. Alright, Tesla Plasma Shield. So that's what you'd need to survive a scalar world war. And scalar weapons have made nukes obsolete, but they're often left out because it's more or less a top secret technology. But it's clear Tesla's wireless, Tesla's death ray, if you will, is real. And that's that nuclear torpedo I was talking about, that will create 90-meter high tidal waves. Some people think that it will make California and other islands disappear, basically. At least temporarily. So these are tsunamis created with nuclear torpedoes. And in this compilation, we see the compilation, we see several man-made. How did they make this? It looks so realistic. But it's fake, of course. They must have used CGI, computer graphics, imaging, and or maquettes, little scale versions, dollhouse miniatures of the truth type of constructions. There's also a video of NASA where you think you're watching the space shuttle and then all of a sudden you see a huge person, a face behind it appear. And then you see it's fake. It's, if you start studying the Apollo moon landing hoax, because it was a scam by NASA Masons, you'll find lots of interesting stuff. So Earth is not flat, Earth is spherical. Some say oblong or oblique, not a perfect sphere, but a bit X-shaped, and the Earth is wobbling. And if they'd set off all these nukes simultaneously, which they've never done before, the Earth could spin off axis. So if they have time travel capability, how far into the future can they see? And can it endanger the people in our future? How safe is this stuff, if we are to believe Steven Spielberg movie, Back to the Future? Then it's really quite dangerous. But the opposite of what they pretend or portray may be true, of course. It can be the satanic inversion to accumulate the maximum amount of power and wealth, etc. And to reduce the global population, so they simply pretend the opposite of whatever is true, to ascertain that people never find out the truth, and the internet is snowed under by people that copy and paste everything, including the lie that centipedes are harmless, and that they have debunked these myths and conspiracy theories because they're too afraid to use the word evidence and proof, because what they did was a crime. I'm not saying that all debunking stories are fake and control the position, etc., but many of them are. Masonic apron sounds like apron. A brave yellow vester that prevented World War III. Perhaps it's the truth, but it's not him. That was another person, of course. I drew in that yellow vest on that famous picture. Was it the World Press photo? I don't know. But it's a famous picture anyway, the Tiananmen Square man. And I could Google what his name is, but he's famous anyway. And it's the idea that counts, that we all can make a difference when we do things with our heart, soul and might, so to speak, with everything we've got. Take it all to a higher level. It's a challenge, but sometimes we need to do things to relax and heal our abused bodies. Not necessarily with clay, there are other ways. People can play, they don't have to clay per se. Therapies, so many therapies. Sex therapy, aromatherapy. I'd have to check my articles what I used to say about this. If you know, let me know in the comments. Also let me know please if my comments are switched off. You should be able to write in this chat if people are watching this live, which is usually not the case because we're gonna watch a broadcast about Trump backwards sounding like actually Donald Trump, so it's not just Trump. But Donald Trump backwards is sounds a lot like Asmedai.
Donald Trump.
But the idea is that it sounds more like Asmodai and not like Asmodai. Let's try the screaming protester again to listen what it sounds like.
Donald Trump! Donald Trump! Donald Trump! Donald Trump! Donald Trump! Asmedai! 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 Asmedai!
Well, in that video it sounds more like Asmodai, not Asmodai. How mysterious.
3, 2, 2.
The government is criminal, okay?
universalpeace.jimdo.com.
Visit my YouTube channel, Try Something.Vegetarian. Please remember to like, subscribe and share important videos on your timeline with the share button underneath this video. Thank you all for watching. May peace and true love accompany you on your travels wherever you may travel. Tune in next time on Try Something.Vegetarian.
Sup, Jew?
Take back the oil. Once you go over and take back that oil, they have nothing.
But how do you take it back?
Right? You have to go in. You have to go in.
With ground troops?
Well, you bomb the hell out of them, and then you encircle it, and then you go in, and you let Mobil go in, and you let our great oil companies go in. Once you take that oil, they have nothing left.
All right. Well, perhaps we all cannot warn enough, and it's the government's job to prevent a world war. Of course, annihilation of 7 billion people is not something to achieve, but something to prevent. Oh yeah, I was gonna read some other comments. Well, it happens every summertime, of course. They have to mow the lawn. I used to mow the lawn myself, so I know what it's like a little bit. I don't think there's a gigantic conspiracy to make this broadcast less pleasant by cutting trees or by letting people in my environment do that. So... oh yeah, from here somewhere. They will like the beginning.
Solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, ocean energy, biomass energy, hydroelectric power, ban GMO, label GMO, test against genetically modified organisms. Burn it with fire. 37 people died of AIDS. Racism, homophobia and anti-Semitism are not allowed, but advocating a population reduction to 500 million with airborne Ebola restin is okay. Solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, ocean energy, biomass energy, hydroelectric power, ban GMO, label GMO, test against.
So I made that little list and I added to it not nuclear waste energy.
Genetically modified organisms. Burn it with fire. 37 people died of GMO contained in a food supplement. Cancer chemtrails equals Project Cloverleaf. They are poisoning you. There are pictures of Trump and Merkel on a cancer chemtrail plane. Cloud seeding patents. Project Cloverleaf equals chemtrails are conspiracy fact, not theory. Satan does not exist either. All religions are an abomination and put the human race to shame. Control aging. Invest in that instead of illegal wars. Universal peace. When will Israel open its borders? When they bring in shekels perhaps. With sustainable energy we can make the prices even higher. Nothing about the 6 Jews that want to reduce the global population and the Jewish Harvard professor that wants to abolish the white race. No, Ignatiev Alex was banned, not Mr. Ignatiev. Equal rights for all. Saying he's gay is an argumentum ad hominem. Jesuits and Masons, that control everything, can be counted on to tell you WHO your enemies are, but they're never the ones to fight and to die. SSSSSS. Jesuits control the intel agencies which are Masonic and control your mind with synthetic telepathy, but they don't control aging. Yet. Russia has more nukes than the US. Russia 6,850, US 6,450 warheads. Cypri org 2018, F. Krieg, Universal Peace Now, plus Orwellian quotes. Spend that money on controlling all factors that control aging. Earth is spherical, Apollo is fake. IA poll, O programmed, WHO's moons, are moons. Flying saucers are real. I heard they are a top secret program of the Navy, not.
It's because somebody wrote in the chat something about Krieg, the German word for war, so I responded with that basically. It's not just a comment out of the blue.
NASA. NASA is only there to mislead everyone as part of the Jesuits and Masons power scheme. In July 2013, India and Israel agreed to work jointly on development of 5th generation, 5G, telecom technologies. Wiki. ITS too late to self-annihilate, Cadman 77018 Waterboard Bolton, behold the GDL Zionist occupied go, MTV, keep what you have, wise Yiddish saying cancer cell phones are real, prevent polarization, 10101010191101010101011010, pacify us all, the age groups of pedophilia. Between 5 to 13 years old, and hebephilia, between 11 to 14 years old, overlap, Jesuits and Masons, directed energy torture weapons, fair trial impossible, stop, pedo hunters are heroes, F censorship. IEEI you cannot fool all the people all the time. Snowden, amused outsider Netanyahu said we need an Israeli-based United Nations for the Internet, green tea 1 key eBay detox. Digital DID it the DID they get the idea covers up DID, Jimmy Savile, Epstein, Dr. Harold F. Shipman, killed 200 patients, and Netanyahu, depleted uranium war crime, are all criminal Jews. Most Jewish people are not murderers. ITS the Jesuits and G. If they are Masons they go to the False Memory Syndrome Foundation to pretend their sexually abused child is mentally ill and the sex abuse and incest victims are electroshocked. 80% of child sexual abusers are not pedophiles. Is this true? Teach children how to protect themselves. Some find the term kids offensive. Is a new agreement with Iran the only way to prevent WW3? Pedo hunters are hero !s exclamation mark. Everyone can pretend to be a 12-year-old online and hand in the evidence to the police without any confrontation. You are free. Imperialism is far more worrisome than globalism, but people talking about globalism seem to mean imperialism. Power to the peaceful. Synthetic telepathy reality. This is a technocracy. Trump revokes Obama rule on reporting drone strike deaths, BBC News Mar 7, 2019. The secret death toll of America's drones. President Trump is making it harder to know how many civilians the government kills by remote control. New York Times Mar 30, 2019. So will the quakes create another tsunami? Russiagate is just to cover up electronic voting fraudgate. Tesla technology has made fair electronic voting an impossibility. Do not accept people that were supposedly electronically elected. They know WHO is funding the terrorists. CIA. Obama talked about arming ISIL terrorists etc. Interesting point about the drones Trump and Obama. Can I read it online somewhere? Question mark. At the Jimmy Dore show, my blanket on my wall was breathing and I was too afraid to go down the stairway I use every day. Happy Hawaiians, truffles, are an awesome experience. Other mushrooms can be scary. Russia has more nukes than the US. Russia 6,850 US 6,450 warhead Cypri ORG 2018. How is this possible when the US invested more in the bloody military-industrial complex than all other countries combined? Why does the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber cost $2 billion? B-2 Spirit, nano-explosives used to demolish WTC ordered by Peter Hans Kaltenbach, Jesuit leader, according to controlled opposition Eric John Phelps. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thermite patented form of thermate. Unite the people against the real enemy like Sinead O'Connor did. Our real enemy is death. SHE ripped up a picture of a pope. Just copy and paste. We are healing this timeline. Misogyny / MSDN / dislike of, contempt for, or ingrained prejudice against women. Misandry is the antonym of misogyny. U.S. wants military coalition to safeguard waters off Iran. Yemen. The Jerusalem Post 9 hours ago to do another false flag attack to create WW3? Hopefully WW3 can be avoided and we can control all factors that control aging in time or death is inevitable for US. I don't nuke how on minis, F World War plans, F the tyrants. The biggest genocide, Holocaust, didn't occur in Nazi Germany but in the USA where 100 million Native American Indians were slaughtered and lost their homeland. Lots of Americans were born in the US if they are all Jesuit controlled and their plan is a world war. Under the guise of bringing world peace, they could still be great people extorted with directed energy weapons and misprogrammed. US spent more than all other countries combined on the bloody war machine. We need an army but this is insane. Communism killed 100 million people and all I got was this lousy unisex t-shirt. Stop funding terrorists. Everything has ITS eigenfrequenz, ITS natural frequency ... including life forms like humans. Iran is not occupied by US military yet. Everybody do stuff to create universal peace. The WTC was demolished with nano-explosives, thermate a patented form of thermite. Farrakhan was banned for comparing the Jewish people to thermites. Get out of the cancer cell phone radiation, minimize the intake of chemical thus cancer-causing prescription drugs especially when they only worsen your symptoms. Putin may be a crypto-Jew like Trump, Merkel, and Bill Gates according to many sources. We all have to become eternal someday. Possible cues. Everything is energy. Molecules. Time is energy, hence time travel is possible now. Ruin equals raw honey. Online source, Emmanuel Macron. Former employee of the Rothschilds, Macron's Semitic ancestry unmentioned. No mention is ever made of Trump's ancestry. Both are as Jewish as the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem. So ... There are many sources that think the following people are famous crypto-Jews. 1. Trump. 2. Putin. 3. Macron. 4. Angela Merkel. 5. Bill Gates, can anyone disprove it to me? In July 2013, India and Israel agreed to work jointly on development of 5th generation, 5G, telecom technologies. On November 6, 2013, Huawei announced plans to invest a minimum of $600 million. It's the Jesuits and Masons. Everyone without a Tesla plasma shield is a targeted individual. They bombed lots of Jews in the WTC and cancer chemtrail Israel. Their nukes will not be discriminate. Never again World War. I denounce all attacks on innocent civilians. The people with the THRU, the wall radar and remote torture weapons did not prevent them. This is clear. CIA should stop funding terrorists to destabilize countries and steal their cancer oil, to subvert nations for their Jesuit masters. Prevent more false flag attacks.
So I use all caps in the chat, big letters instead of small letters. I put caps lock on because you have more visibility, it's easier to read and it uses the same space. There is no real reason not to use caps, and I've made clear that I'm not shouting, it's just for more visibility, and I copy these comments that I make, the good ones, some bad ones as well. And sometimes also illegal remarks that I consider possibly illegal remarks of others. Though I do try to keep that level in this broadcast down to 0, of course. Sometimes there's something that is something someone else wrote, or something the perpetrators put into my brain, some idea. But most of this is not satire, some of it is.
Save the US soldiers, and round up all secret society members, and the ones that don't talk get the death chair or life imprisonment. F imperialism, F global gov, F eco-fascism, F two-state solution world war plans, F Iran false flag attack world war plans, F the Pope, but use a condom. Punishment must always be proportionate to the crime, to do justice not injustice. Obliterating Iran for some terrorist attack on US troops is a truly insane idea. Prevent their next false flag attack. Depleted uranium equals the real terrorist is Netanyahu and Bush. The problem is imperialism, not per se globalism, anti-Jesuitism, anti-Freemasonism, pro true populism, WW2, Vietnam, Iraq. When will they learn? Synthetic telepathy reality. Since 1974, anti-secret society like Kennedy, anti-Semites, racists and homophobes were misprogrammed. Julius Caesar quote, "The greatest enemy will hide in the last place you would ever look." You can quote me on all of this, debate me, Skype, ProLogic 999. Kushner 666 Fifth Avenue was bought by Sumitomo Realty and Development in the late 1990s, and Tishman Speyer bought it back in 2000, adding tenants before selling it yet again to Kushner Properties in 2007. Kristen Meter. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitic, Zionism is a political movement. Keep the iodine for WW3Q's nukes are real, depleted uranium babies are real. At Owen Benjamin. Watch on YouTube, Putin, to run in full compliance with its nuclear commitments. Sanctions against Iran groundless. Cypherspace 432HZ. The Auschwitz commemoration stone number of Jews murdered by the Nazis was revised from 4 million to 1,5 million in 1990, yet the 6 million number remained unaffected. Science equals God all-seeing AI. While a little Tesla plasma shield to protect their brainwave. A Halo 7 famous Jewish porn stars, all use fake names. Ron Jeremy real name, Ronald Jeremy Hyatt, Nina Hartley real name, Mary Louise Hartman, Chtag for the others, Peter North crypto Jew, CIA funding terrorists, destabilizing countries, subverting nations. No consent of Congress equals illegal wars, because they are still sovereign nations. Prevent more false flag attacks. Save the US soldiers, save the world. Prevent WW3, prevent MAD, None without a Tesla plasma shield would survive. All major religions are associated with pedophilia, incest, wars and torture, inquisition. Religion is therefore an abomination. Less than pedo incest Bible, greater than pedo incest Quran. NPT Iran is an NPT signatory country, Non-Proliferation Treaty, so they may not build a nuke. 300 kg is 1/4th of the amount needed to produce one nuke. By means of deception thou shalt do war. Former Mossad motto equals WW3. Be prepared. Happy Trump didn't start WW3. The Constitution of the People's Republic of China asserts that citizens of the People's Republic of China enjoy freedom of speech, of the press, of assembly, of association, and of demonstration. A shout out for universal peace or world peace when not everybody is shouting would be awesome. 2008 Epstein was convicted of soliciting an underage girl for prostitution, for which he served 13 months in custody with work release, which meant he was allowed to spend 16 hours a day outside of prison. Stop all forms of torture and abuse. Control aging. Invest in that instead of illegal wars for a change. I gotta go find a new VPN. Help prevent WW3 if you can. Do healing stuff for universal peace. Protest and boycott. Peace out. 3,600 scientists make clear 5G is extremely damaging to human health. Don't let them roll out another cancer cell phone network. Use scalar, healing frequencies. Chemical cancer causing prescription drugs are good for population reduction. Chemical thus cancer causing prescription drugs are made free by Trump to depopulate a non-chatter, Jewish oligarchy or big pharma.
So now there's talk about Epstein again in the mainstream media. And according to the mainstream media, Trump called him a terrific guy. But Control the Position always harps on the relationship of Epstein with Bill and Hillary Clinton, not Trump. Trump's connection. Nor that he's a possible Mossad agent. Put in these high places or given connections with the elite to control them, basically, to frame them. Yesterday I listened to somebody that said that there were cameras in all these apartments on the Lolita Island. And now Epstein has a new island. Obliterate 5G, prevent World War III. Obliterate 5G, not people, that's the idea. So, I might chat some more. This was chat stuff. So that was someone else's remark. Jewish oligarchy are big pharma. So I can Google oligarchy. Some would argue plutocracy because running for president takes a lot of money. It's not a true democracy. Oligarchy.
Oligarchy.
Oligarchy. Where did you put your oligarchy? A small group of people having control of a country or organization. basically shadow government, deep state, that type of idea. Continuity of government cog, but no continuity of society cos. Plus BFSA, labeling US citizens, designating civilians as enemy combatants. BFSA, Blue Force Situational Awareness. Covered by an oligarchy, a small group of people having control of a country or organization. So when what Citizens Action Network on Facebook writes is true, that the intelligence agencies are all Masonic and controlled by the Jesuits, then they are the ones that control our brainwaves, that control what we think. So free will is an illusion. People don't know, they don't realize how far it goes, that every idea we have can be an idea induced by a neural network in our own inner voice. It's very easy to let our PC talk with our own voice on liarbird.ai or whatever. Is it still around? Let's see. It's with LY. Search then. Liarbird.ai. So this .ai is what I was wondering. Create the most realistic artificial voices in the world. Create my voice, but then they own your voice, so they own your soul after that. So there, you have it. So why did they remove, or why is the Android, not the Paranoid, but the Android app not working anymore? There's an Android app, Trump speech engine voice. I used it to make that Universal Peace Now sample. And it sounds much better than the online Jungle Horse thing. It takes a while before I can skip through these samples and before they play.
Universal Peace Now.
Sometimes.
Universal Peace Now. This is Donald Trump prepared to stage a mission worldwide.
And that idea might not be complete off the head either. But in Iran sanctions world war, it's clear that Trump and Putin are on a collision course. That they disagree on sanctioning Iran. Putin made clear in the Reuters article that I've covered. He thinks it's Putin, Tehran in full compliance with its nuclear commitment, sanctions against Iran groundless, according to the Reuters article that you can see in that video by this title on my channel, Try Something.Vegetarian. And probably that's where you're seeing this. So I'm totally against 5G, 100%. Anti-5G. People can ask me anything, also in the chat. Let's see if there are any chat remarks. 0 chat remarks. So how many people have that Tesla plasma shield required to survive a possible world war? This is the Chinese Tesla plasma shield, about 3 kilometers in diameter. At the bottom you can see the houses basically. Question is also, can they generate this shield anywhere or only to protect their scalar weapon in that area? The Dr. Bernard Eastland Hart patent makes clear that they have something that was called SDI by Ronald Reagan, Strategic Defense Initiative. And that explains that they can generate that missile shield anywhere with Tesla's technology. The scalar waves sometimes travel faster than the speed of light, and they can generate an electromagnetic field with the characteristics they desire by crossing these two scalar waves, and then they can, for example, emulate or simulate pulsed energy projectile mode and active denial system mode weapons, directed energy weapons, also microwave ovens, and also nuclear and non-nuclear radiation types, etc. So they can do a lot with it, including control the human mind, and it may be connected to a time-traveling neural network. It's a major advantage, but there are still 7.5 billion people. So safety first, but no safety first. We can always consider self-detonation if we're that evil. If our group is that evil and the rest of the people are alright, then that's an option. I don't know if you're in any group and if you're good or bad or whatever. But the thing is, good people might perceive themselves as evil or bad, and bad people might perceive themselves as good. I'm not saying that all of them do, but some of them definitely. There's 7.5 billion people out there. So safety first, and stay proactive, invest in controlling factors that control aging, protest for controlling aging, and against their illegal wars. I hope Yellow Vests also will make banners, and that they also will start doing stuff in English, so that this becomes a worldwide movement and not just a movement for the people. For the 7 billion people they want to exterminate, clear from their book quotes and Georgia Guidestones. That's a conspiracy fact, not a conspiracy theory. So if we do not act, we are acted upon. Hopefully not. Power doesn't always corrupt, but power corrupts in general is still true. So if we all could take out other people without any repercussions, then there would be none of us left, perhaps, in the end. So that's why it's good we have a system and things like that. Though I'd have to study anarchy. I also wonder sometimes about, though I'm not an anti-Semite, nor racist, nor homophobe myself, if it wouldn't be better if we'd be allowed to say anything, and as long as we don't take steps to do illegal things, transgress that golden rule, not to violate people's physical integrity, the most important law, I would argue, habeas corpus, the right to physical integrity, that keeps civilization. I think I forgot what I was talking about, perhaps they erased it. Habeas corpus, the right to physical integrity. That we could have true freedom of speech, also hate speech, that anybody can say anything, and anybody and everybody is bound by that same rule, and everybody knows that rule. And nobody can quote me one codified law unless they're a lawyer or a judge. So, though we're all supposed to know the law, we cannot read one sentence from the codified law books that contain all these laws that protect us, supposedly. But I claim that the judges are controlled with remote torture technology and synthetic telepathy, and a fair trial is impossible, and that pedophilia and hebephilia overlap. These are chronophilia, and pedophiles are people that are attracted more. Well, perhaps I should read the definition. So pedophilia itself is a mental illness and not a crime. And 80% of child sexual abusers are not pedophiles, according to what I read online. But the question is, how can we protect our children? Of course, that's what it's about. Not how we can protect the pedophiles that have murdered kids, and those exist too. I'm not saying. I think that the majority of pedophiles are not murderers, and etc. Some of them might be really nice, and some people might think they're pedophiles, and that have received, quote, treatment that was not alright. So I advise people to get rid of those cancer-causing prescription drugs, use natural stuff to feel good, and to just do self-hypnosis, so you'll never abuse prepubescent children, and so you never have sex with people that don't want sex with you, and never with anybody younger than 16 or whatever is the legal age in your country. There's a term for it. It's not that important. So I'm trying to tell you all the most important stuff in the shortest amount of time, to program you all so that that future cannot be taken away from us all, from the 7 billion people some of us would like to see dead and annihilated. And they have no qualms about using airborne Ebola, depleted uranium, remote torture weapons, etc. So everybody's silenced with this technology. And because everybody's so silent about it, I speak out about it, because I think I'm tortured to death anyway. I think I've nothing to lose. And stop crying over spilled milk. Well, milk is not torture, milk is good and feeds the calves, etc. So, bye-bye. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, no, I liked the subject, what I was talking about. I was trying to make a point about racism, homophobia, and anti-Semitism being punished disproportionately, and people that advocate population reduction with book quotes and Georgia Guidestones, etc., not being arrested. The government not taking any action, not arresting members of secret societies, and it seems like they're in the clutches of these secret societies that may be using directed energy torture weapons to maintain child pornography, child trafficking networks. We saw how they released these child traffickers on bail while they put Tommy Robinson in jail, etc. And I think he has very good points. I like listening to Tommy Robinson. I should do it more. But for now, I'm still focusing on the Iran threat, and as long as Putin and Trump are on a collision course, that's the thing I should talk about. Okay, so I found the most important thing. Controlling aging, and it's not going to happen if we create a world war and self-annihilate. It's too late to self-annihilate. They can't do it without dying in themselves. People are smarter now because of internet, and civilization is soon taken to a higher, better level we're evolving anyhow, whether we like it or not, and usually that's for the better. So all these people before us didn't have these neural networks, but the thing is, so Putin said, let's do another picture show. Legalize is the most fun one, I think. Putin poisonings is also pretty good. Windows Spotlight. Legalize it. Misclicked apparently. Well, according to the Reuters article, he said sanctions against Iran are groundless. Okay. How can he say that? Sanctions against Iran are groundless. Iran are the major funders of terrorists, and they did all these wicked things. The wicked people. So, sanctions against Iran groundless. Really? Iran in full compliance with its nuclear commitments. 7th of July, is that has passed already, and we're still there. Wow, I even didn't notice it. And otherwise I wouldn't have noticed it for sure. And I would have been gone already. Nobody loves me. Totally alone. In the big red world, I mean. Well, I bet there's someone who loves you. I love you if you haven't tortured me. And you don't have plans to annihilate 7 billion people, humanity as a whole. Then I love you anyway. Otherwise, I think it's not the right thing to do. And the right thing to do is the right thing to do, so don't buy that satanic inversion stuff. And religion is satanic inversion as well. In reality, their body's going to the ground, not into heaven. So it's just the opposite direction. Other than that, you could argue it's true. Muppet Show. And yeah. So perhaps they'll resurrect Bob Marley, you know. Though I think he's not alive anymore. Perhaps they've killed him with wine, or was it Jimi Hendrix? The Illuminati, blood oath murders, etc. And people in satanic families could even be in it, but Michael Jackson might still be alive. And I hope he is, even if he's not a vegetarian. I think he made some awesome songs and performances. So, if he didn't kill anyone, even if he did, I mean, they can be resurrected anyway, so then who cares, you know? Dirty Diana. So, what do you all think? Death penalty on adultery or not? I have to know now. Death penalty on adultery, is that proportionate to the crime? Perhaps we first need to study what monkeys do. And then pull the trigger, kill ourselves for the global government. For the pedo elite that are our God. Because they're people too. Hey, I am, the circle is round. But preventing World War III, how to... Well, sometimes I have that story. Some believers might believe that humans have a gun. And that God gave them that gun to prevent these nukes from going off. That's why they're there. Otherwise they wouldn't have existed. Almighty, omniscient, truly omnipotent, create or not. I've explained already, the Bible is a collection of plagiarized polytheistic myths proving God does not exist scientifically. So I could talk about sex, about pedophilia, about so many things, infinite subjects out there. What would you all like me to talk about? And leave a comment, or Skype Prologic999 if the comments don't work for some reason. I tried to turn it on. I've shown in my broadcast I've turned it on. Also the chat remarks. Went through all the trouble to make a script, paste it, and now it's working, because when I type something in the chat myself, then it appears on the screen. Check if anybody wrote. Nope. Now people, you have to watch my channel more. This is really not working, this is not gonna work, and these nuclear torpedoes will also come for you if you're in the Netherlands or in California, etc. 90-meter high tidal waves, these efforts are real. And the Russian nukes are called Satans, and the American nukes are called Patriots. Sort of nickname. And that always wins, doesn't it? And Russia also has more nukes than the US has. And why? Because $2 billion B-2 bomber planes, Grensoorzichtige planes, I may add. Not flying saucers, obviously. According to some, that's a secret project of the Navy, not NASA. NASA Freemasons are only there to cover it up the way they really do things, to have an advantage over humanity, to have more control. And there can also be noble reasons tied to this, but what they did to me is unjustifiable, and I would like money. For the damages, they've in reality imposed energy projectile mode, tortured all my teeth out of my mouth, and my mother to death. But I can bring back my mother and stuff, and they may have a license to kill, but perhaps there's some way I could get that money. But the main goal is also so other people, other directed energy weapon torture victims, can do something about it, so it's stopped at least. Though they can argue there are laws that make it legal for them, so then I don't get any money, but at least the torture is stopped. And some targeted individuals might be real criminals, theoretically, but I doubt it. So what they did to me was unjustifiable, and so was the depleted uranium war crime, if you ask me. And to create a better future, one who knows of evidence must testify, not to redeem a murderer from the death penalty for money. Often these people do other things that make life impossible for millions of people. So a person that commits crimes, cancer corn, honkers for example, might also commit other crimes. And there may also be criminals out there that only do crime to do good, sort of Robin Hood do-gooders that protect the righteous and punish the wicked. But the Masons may be the opposite, though it's a large group, so you may have good ones in there as well somewhere. The G of Freemasonry supposedly stands for gnosis. But the secret meaning could very well be gay or global government. And perhaps they got that idea from the 666 tattoo that they had, and they thought, hey, that looks like a G. Well, G, 666, nobody knows. Disney. So that's a bit semi-satirical, but what if it's true? Prayer. So here we can see these broadcasts that are now live, and it's best to never start smoking. At least not tobacco. And hash and weed can be eaten as well, kind of bonbons, space cake, weed tea. So you don't have to smoke that. It's the fastest way to get it into your bloodstream, but many people prefer eating it. And also the feeling may be better. So many people are addicted to smoking and they wouldn't stop smoking, not for $1 million. And the question is also how long I would have to stop smoking for that. I think I could do it, but not very long. If I need to stop smoking for a week, for $1 million, I'd do it. Cricket sound. So prayer is brainwashing yourself with lies, okay? I should him. Who cares if they call me a troll? It's not important. Trolls don't exist.
And the base while we go forward and listen to your. No soldier wants to go out to the battle. No soldier wants to go out to war.
No, that's why they do it.
It's an obligation and duty as the peacemakers who you called blessed.
Otherwise they wouldn't be soldiers, huh?
No one wants to leave their family or their wife or their loved one back at base.
But when we are on a mission from you, Lord, there is no choice.
We just pray blessings over her.
Create universal peace, control factors, and control aging. That's it.
Over her family, Lord.
A woman.
Pray for Chris,
Courtney, Stan, Zayden, Xavier, Barb, Rob.
lift them
Up so they know your and live within your will.
Father,
Prayer is brainwashing yourself with lies. It is evil, not good.
We saw that it was pleasing for you to create in your image, man and woman. in your image. That we were designed to be one flesh. That the entire relationship between Christ and the church is that of a bride and bridegroom. And Father, we know that the threshing floor is promised. And as the wheat cares grow together, we pray that we all receive your seed of faith, your Holy Spirit to become wheat. Father, I pray for discernment.
If that's a cancer cell phone, remove it from your ear now. You are reborn after that is alive with your health. You life is the most important thing.
When we are told to hand our loved ones over, whether via covenant or the children that we were talking about earlier, or
IT is our blood.
Church, who's not listening, who is not obedient in that format, that if the time comes for them to be handed over so that they may know you, that we are obedient to the instructions of the Word. We pray for the discernment to do that, Lord.
Have fun, if you spells fun.
Father, we pray for all the children in this world that are faced with a fallen world that even us as adults gathered here cannot even fathom. Those innocent eyes and hearts faced with struggles that are seen today as the world continues to prevail.
What message should I use
we know
now?
that you appointed them for such a time as this, and that you've given them the sprinkle through the Holy Spirit, and that so many of your messages are based in your love for children, to be like children. We trust that you will take care of them. Father, right now we specifically pray for the children who may now be adults that have suffered at the hands of ritualistic abuse.
Your father and your mother created you, not just his father.
Father, we ask first and foremost that you comfort those children, you give them a new identity in you, Lord.
Okay.
That you give them a new name
I go
in you,
super
Lord,
troll.
that they are not seen by themselves as these
Universal peace, no blood for cancer oil.
people.
I just mean super troll.
Father, we just lift them up, that you comfort them.
Real.
That they know where their source of joy and identity are from, and it is not from the depravity of some sinister force that is operating in a global network of ritualistic.
Is that the Lucifer tattoo? Is it the
pedophilia,
nuke bringer Lucifer? Or is it something
Father,
else?
what was once called a conspiracy is now mainstream headline. Lord, let them all
Three crosses
be
of
exposed,
Amsterdam,
rip
we
them
know.
out from the root and march them through the streets so that we may see them all. Father, let not one escape your justice.
I mean, it's
Father,
weird
we
too.
know that every
And we all
man will
know
be
it's
given
written in the
and
Torah
every woman
about
will have to
tattoos.
give an account for every idle word and action, and Lord, we pray for your justice.
We
May
pray.
your wrath pour upon those who deserve it, so that you display
But all
yourself
murderers
as
and
the glorious,
people that did these horrible
just
things to me and may
judge
be wiped
and
out from the
sovereign
earth,
being,
etc.
Lord.
It's not going to work. We have to do it ourselves. Otherwise, we're
Lord,
going to
remove from our hearts all these angry feelings, this hatred that we may feel for our fellow man in these trying times when we see the innocent so attacked. Father,
Educate or
replace
be
that anger with
educated.
love, just as you had when you said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." Father, we lift
I'm ready to be
these
teached.
individuals up in prayer.
We have to redeem these people.
Lord,
It's a lot of
we pray
work.
for Jeffrey Epstein. Father, we
I'm
pray
kidding,
that you
I'm kidding.
appear to him now,
It's auto
in this
redemption, I
moment
guess.
when he
Nukes are real.
is in his worst.
Oh, it's because I have this one on. Ooh. Okay. Do the blackout thing for a while. This is what it looks like after the nukes. And then we are reborn in paradise because we're good people. We have nothing to fear. Where's my webcam? Hello. Encoding overloaded people. That good. The energy flows from me to the YouTube. In reality. Okay, let's see if I can hear some more of this prayer. It's pretty good. Okay, it's wrong of me to say that. It's evil.
Heinous individuals. Father, we ask for that same accordance within your will. We ask for that same desire to be placed on our hearts, to be placed on our hearts, so that when our flesh wants to, Lord, it's hard. Just give us heart. Just give us that heart of yours of forgiveness.
Oh, I thought hard. But is he gonna say a woman?
Excuse me for 1 second, he's just died.
A woman. He needs a woman, I think.
Guys, can you still hear me? Are we still going here?
Me too.
Just a quick confirmation that you can hear me well from the speaker on the phone. Anything? Yes.
A bit Tom Selleck-ish.
These guys. Yes, we got a yes. Yes, we got a yes. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Okay.
While we're taking a pause, I'm gonna take.
Oh.
You know how I be doing. When the Lord gives me, you know how I be doing.
Take 5.
When the Lord gives me that glorified body, He's gonna give me. He's gonna give me the capacity. When we're up in heaven, I hope that I still get to kind of have a teaching session with you guys, and I hope that you guys will be able to receive it.
I'm ready to be teached.
But give me just.
What does the fellatio mean? I've heard it, but
Go ahead, a quick couple minutes. Go ahead.
Single ladies are welcome also.
That you guys can pray
Drink smoothie.
amongst each other, and I'll be right back in just 1 second.
Real smoothie, Mandrake. Fluoridated smoothie. With plastic and bath salts in it. No, I'm kidding. I hope not. How freeing. Enjoy the birds. I can turn off my audio, turn this a little louder, and then we can hear these birds wherever he is. This is The Good Ground, started streaming 88 minutes ago, live. So I'm reviewing this, I'm not really rebroadcasting. But we want to hear those birds for universal peace. How beautifully they sing their songs. In reality, for sex.
All right.
Oh no, he's back
So
already.
just as I was stepping up. So just as I was stepping up. I gotta
Definitely not
notice
Tom
that
Selleck.
battery
I'll
on the phone
put
is
it back on
actually dying
auto.
as well. So they don't approach their brother or sister publicly. Let's do this privately. This is not where we need to quarrel, especially over words. We do not need to show any division within the body, especially here. This is
No debates.
I'm the steward of God's channel. I'm the steward of God's channel here right now, and I'm just going to tell you, stop immediately. No quarrels here. Take it privately. you can get a private message between each other. If you have a desire to talk further, it's absolutely
You have to accept everything he says as truth.
absolutely okay to ask them if you can contact them via email or provide yours so that you can handle your offense privately first. Do not do that publicly here. We are in prayer to the Father. So please, I ask you with love. So please, I ask you with love. Cut it out. So let's thank our Father for this another powerful, awesome prayer session. And I
The
think
truth must be told.
so. Okay, I'm seeing some stuff. I will ban you.
Real love
Anything
exists.
bad, you're going to get blocked. So, enough that. We're going to turn to the Father and ignore this nonsense that's seemingly going on. I'm disappointed here. Not whatever. Father God, we thank you for another day to glorify you. We thank you for our lives that you've given us to glorify you. And we thank you for the breath that you've given us, the ruach that you've given us to glorify you. Let us use that breath in these bodies to sing your praise, Lord, every day through word, action, and prayer, Lord.
I can feel my heart melting.
Open HEALTHIEST. In future. Try Something.Vegetarian. Stop the religious BS, please.
Before the Creator of all, and speak to you personally. And know that you hear us personally, Lord. Father, this is beyond all of our natural understanding. And we just thank you, Lord, for being our God, for being our Lord.
I want you to burn a satanic Bible and burn a towel to prevent the next high stage, but make sure you film it and put it on YouTube outside. Safety first.
To it whenever we have doubt and we need something, Lord. You've given it all. From the Garden of Eden to this very moment, Lord.
Let them sell guide into
Proceeding
paradise.
from you. And may you place it upon us and in our hearts to glorify you with every bit of it, with appreciation, love, and respect for you and for each other, Lord. You've made it so simple by giving 2 commandments that cover every law. Lord, we just thank you for the love that you place
Israel becoming safe haven for pedophiles with laws that allow any Jews to legally return. Activists claim independence. UK. Google Katie Johnson's testimony on Trump and Epstein.
Clean, purified from all of our sins.
Let's listen for a while.
Full
Perhaps
repentance
we
from
can
our
get some
heart.
sleep.
And justified only by his blood, through faith alone, in the mighty, beautiful name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I'm gonna have to buy a whole new bottle of citronella for my little my oh no. Oh wow.
So you read
Okay.
that
So that was just
Doesn't
trickling out.
citronella just
I don't know if
attract
you guys saw me just
mosquitoes and other
praying
insects?
and anointing
think so.
myself with the citronella.
I opened a
I
bottle
just
of
want to anoint
citronella
this a
and
little bit, Lord. I just
little
want to anoint this
mosquito.
flesh. Go and anoint this flesh a little bit, and maybe
I have no faith in citronella.
You know, forgive me for killing your little creatures.
Plus I don't like smell. I like
I don't know where
many
that all
other
fits in,
ethereal
Lord.
oils.
I don't know where
Better
that
keep
all
the other
fits
one
in.
off.
It's all for your glory.
It's too loud.
It's all for your glory.
Ah, my ears.
But dang, I don't like me no mosquitoes. I don't like them at all.
Me
I much
neither.
prefer my
The
little
parasites,
puppies. Those
mosquitoes are
the ones that I
parasites.
like a lot better. Those are the ones I like a lot better.
Sure.
Guys, it looks like this is a much better format. Looks like this is going to work very, very well. I think I like being out here. I might have some full sleeves on the next time and full
Oh yeah, I
pants
was gonna
because,
kill
yeah,
a
I got
mosquito.
eaten alive.
I have
I might have a little
electrifying
tick or two on me.
record.
That's all right. It's all for His glory. I don't care. You can have this body. Listen here, mosquito. Whatever little blood you're gonna take the roll over his place.
But I could also catch it
Take
with
it
the plastic cup and
But
then
no,
put it
we're going to
outside.
come back out here, and then we are going to head to back into that Genesis in our image tomorrow. I'm going to come out here. Maybe if I can come out here. If not, I can still stream with this format from inside with my studio lighting. That puts a little shine in the eyeballs. If you look close, it's a square. It's a square. It's fancy. Everyone's got a ring light. Not your boy. Not your boy. I got to stand. I'm holy. I'm holy. I stand apart from those ring light YouTubers. I got the square. Because I'm a square and a nerd. Nah, because it was a cheaper setup. So,
Catch the Zika mosquito with a plastic cup and then release it outside.
Praise God.
No living organism needs to
Internet
die.
went down yesterday so that we can have a good picture again. Yay! So, yeah, someone asked, hey man, I like your videos still, I love them, but is there a way you can put the quality back? Yep. I'm gonna put it back, and we're gonna have the nice thumbnails again and start working on those. Although I think I scared about 40 people away with the flat Earth diagram. And again, I might lean one way or the other. I'm going to let you decide. There's a lot of questions to answer on that. But that diagram is what the ancient Israelites believed. I'm just putting it, that's what they believed. You can't deny that. Don't let your little bias stop. Don't rewrite history, jerk. It's just what they had. I just put that up there so that we know what's there. So,
if it's better history, then
about that, I don't know. Check out the FEIC conference coming up, not Flat Earth something conference with my boy Jared. They're a lot better at explaining that. Like I told my sister Michelle, that's not my hill to die on. I'm not here.
History
I
is
don't
written by
have
the
enough time to
victor,
research that.
so we can believe the
it's
word
not really
we
cold
read.
on my heart, because for me, the thing could look like a donut, and I'd probably be happier because I love donuts. But no, it could be whatever dang shape it want to be. Is the Lord,
Once upon a time,
for me, the gospel is
there was an
sufficient.
everlasting
I know
wine.
that I'm a sinner. I know I was a sinner, and I know when I
And
talk to anyone
wine
that's
was lonely.
honest, that they will say they are a sinner, and I think that's a good place to start. And
they
there's a
created a
lot
wine
of
baby.
stuff that can go into that. So
And
whatever. They only,
wine
if there's other passages that touch on this whole flat Earth stuff, then we'll talk about it then. But that's not the goal of this channel. I'm not a quote-unquote conspiracy guy. I've talked about how I believe that the alien disclosure will be a demonic thing. Again,
so
it ventures into the conspiracy.
In their
But
mind.
just like we talked about with the conspiracies, they called us conspiracy theorists about the Pizzagate.
You have to say
pedophile
enough
rings,
stuff
right?
to be able to
How's
stay
that all
online.
working out for you? Have you guys seen the temple that's on Jeffrey Epstein's island? Wow! What the heck, man? That's a big old Moloch temple. Get out here, bud. Smack that dog. That's a bee. Birds and bees.
They already have a temple?
Back off. But on the Jeffrey Epstein, if you take the Lolita Express that Bill Clinton liked to do 26 times, and by the way, the charter has been shown that he was
So
on
then
that
we don't
plane
need
with
to build a
minors.
third temple.
Oh, that's going to be rich. I don't know if that's ever going to start playing into anything with old
And
Hillary and spirit
in the Netherlands we have a saying,
and all this crazy stuff. They called us.
it's so fake to cover up for the real pedos.
There, so, but there's other people there for that. The Lord's blessed me with the teaching and the word of knowledge and the hunger.
Een ezel steelt zich in het algemeen niet tweemaal aan dezelfde steen.
What we need daily. So,
Een mule
someone said, do
doesn't
they have a temple? Oh yeah. Google Jeffrey Epstein Island Temple. Not only is
bump
it the
into
temple,
the same
it
stone
looks like the
twice.
Dome of the Rock.
And they already had
some
2
people
temples.
have said it has a tie to the Rothschild family.
As if
Look
there
up
wasn't
the
enough.
Rothschild family
always need
coat of
more.
arms explained. Everything in that, it's got all kinds of symbolism within that.
But okay,
itself.
I like the Al-Aqsa, I like the
temple looks like
dome-shaped
the Dome of the
building.
Rock. And it has 2 owl
And I don't
statues on
really
it
like
that
the
are
new
Moloch that you
thing
can
they
see
want to
in
build.
Bohemian Grove. That
And
are
how can they do that
as
without
old as
destroying
the
Al-Aqsa by
owls
building
are not
around
what
it,
they
making
see.
it glass see-through?
Any
The
Twin
next
Peaksers
thing.
out there? Not that I'm promoting that. There's some demonic weirdness on that, but I don't even know about that. I don't even know.
Drifted away long enough, they can build it with the matter generator, matter transformer that will make gold out of thin air, out of air molecules, which are energy, like gold is energy.
Calling it a Sunday, son. This is not art. This is weird.
So gold will be worthless as well.
Go back to making
but first, the monetary system goes with the EMP money.
That temple is there. It's on an island, and there's a lot. There's underground tunnels that this man paid millions of dollars. It's all coming out. Next 6 months are gonna be wild. And one of the names in there is that's implicated is Kevin Spacey. And if you watch his last video that he put, a lot of people were like, "That's a cryptic message." He's sitting there talking.
Third Temple World War, false flag attacks,
or whatever it is. Is that what that is that he was in? I didn't watch that crap. House of Cards. He's playing Frank, and he's drinking coffee, and people said that everything in that video is a.
So this might be to cover up the Third Temple story about
to catch me for the
Red
sexual
Cow,
assault
etc.
charge case that he was in.
Without
he's going
any
to start ratting out
blemishes.
names. And there's one other guy, Isaac.
It's
Cappy.
a Gentech cow.
Check out Isaac Cappy. I put some of this stuff on my Facebook. Isaac Cappy, they say he had a dead man switch, and a dead man switch is if someone
I'm on your
kills
side.
you,
I'm on side for
you have a
humans,
video that's ready to roll that says, gives away information that you were afraid to. He talks about, now, I don't even know who Isaac Cappy was. I think he was an actor. He called Seth Green a pedophile. His name's in Jeffrey Epstein's book.
So you're not
Or in
neural
his little
network.
black book, Seth Green's was. But Isaac Cappy exposed him for being a pedophile. Said he was not suicidal and made a dead man switch video. Check that all out. What else was there? Oh, and I'm in Columbus, Ohio. And Les Webster is now being thrown around as a place where his house was where a sexual assault was taken. If you look up the connection, what is it? The torture taxi meets the Lolita Express in Columbus. I just put an article of that up on Facebook. This is all coming to be exposed, and it's right here. Let me tell you about Columbus. Very demonic. Very demonic, and we have
demons don't exist.
We have Rickenbacker,
10 lies taught in schools.
supposedly has a bunch of underground tunnels that they have enough dynamite or explosives in there. Not dynamite. That's what is this? Acme Company? Was it the Roadrunner just running away from Wile E. Coyote? No, they have enough explosive, probably nuclear, to wipe out Ohio. There, should anything come to pass, within a second. Cool, send me to my lord. But I'm not sure that we're getting into
10 lies taught in schools.
The giant
YouTube.
of Kandahar was supposedly brought here. There's supposedly alien connections with Rickenbacker. We have DFAS, DCSC, and Wright-Patterson, all in Ohio.
Would it be safe to keep this on?
We have such a heavy LGBT presence here.
I think not. I can't just allow somebody to talk while it's going out to the world, etc. I'm reviewing this. It's not. No, I have to get some juice. Oh, check if I'm not visible. Probably not. Turn it off. Okay. Pick the show on. When I get back, then I'll turn it off. So you can fast forward. Because now I can find my broadcast live. Apparently. Okay. I'm not back. Just getting some honey. Dropping it in the tea. Stir it up. Humidity. And I have green tea. Now I can take a sip. Now I'm back. Tea green hot. Oh yeah, of course we want to check how he's doing. Oh, the stream is finished.
Anything come to pass, you know, within a second. Cool, send me to my lord. But I'm not sure that we're getting in conspiracies here. The giant of Kandahar was supposedly brought here. There's supposedly alien connections with Rickenbacker. We have DFS and DCSC and Wright-Patterson all in Ohio. We have such a heavy LGBT presence here. It is just, I mean, it's Columbus. I mean, that ain't no town for me. I mean, I'm a straight cisgendered white Christian man. They don't like me. And I'll tell you this, one last note. The streets and businesses that I used to walk on
And look the way that I still look and carry myself and not say a word that welcomed me, I'm telling you right now, they do not welcome me, and I don't have to say anything.
Watch the YouTube video, Putin, to run in full compliance with its nuclear commitments sanctions against Iran groundless on my channel, Try Something Vegetarian.
Okay, my mic was off, sorry about that. But I just thought it was pretty remarkable. I should have said broadcast is finished a while ago. So then I'm just brainstorming about new ideas for a better future. It's kind of raining in the Netherlands. You all can hear it. It's kind of cold for the time of year. And I could do another broadcast also about question whether these new nukes, these earthquakes, I mean, that we've recently witnessed, if they can create tsunamis as well. So that will be my next broadcast. I think this one's reasonable, but my previous broadcasts, many of them are much better than this one, with even more important information. So, thank you all for your likes and subscribes and sharing this video on your timeline. It's easy by clicking the share button to share it on your social media websites. Also check universalpeace.jimdo.com, but that's older material and that has links to other blogs. For example, about police provocateurs, etc., agent provocateurs, as they're also called. So yeah, remember to boycott companies that must be boycotted for a better future, and to do healing things. Sometimes our bodies feel what they need best because of evolution. We're quite good at that, and some people are trying to reduce the global population by any means necessary. So I hope they're arrested if they're murderers and torturers, etc. And that humanity is saved from the people that want to reduce the global population somehow. So I can think about it. Putin and Trump diametrically opposed on Iran sanctions, etc. So can we expect another false flag attack with a drone on a ship or on US troops this time to justify their invasion of Iran and to steal their cancer oil? Or do they have some other plan to create their world war? I do like dome-shaped buildings, so I'm for preventing a world war, and perhaps a one-state solution isn't a bad idea. They can just give them all a passport in return for the Temple Mount, and everybody can live in peace in Israel. And Messiah can come, and everybody can party. So prevented mutually assured destruction and do healing things, nice things, and not to join a majority to affect evil. Karma is not true, but directed energy weapon torture is will, that's clear. And in a way you could argue it is true if everybody does evil things and everybody starts annihilating each other or self-annihilating in a world war. Then it affects them in a negative way, basically, then they're forever gone after that. So you could call it karma. So yeah, perhaps I'll get some sleep. I'm not gonna cycle in the rain, that's for sure. Perhaps I'll need to use my cancer-causing tachinelis scar. Little pain in the heart area, don't know why. Perhaps they do it with directed energy weapons, perhaps they are trying to give me a heart attack or whatever. So they may have the opposite idea about this. They may want to annihilate 7 billion people and rule the world from Jerusalem. So then there had better be people in our government that prevent them from doing these insane things. That could get us all killed. So I'm for safety first, an agreement of Rouhani, who can propose we allow inspections, if we are allowed to enrich more uranium to a higher level, then we allow inspections, we're not building a nuclear bomb. But you could also argue the Americans